All right. Test, test. Okay. Looks like we're live. Sorry for the slight delay. It's been an interesting evening, to say the least. The show prep went a little long. Hey, Gardner, how's it going? How's it going, Shell? Good to see you both. Show prep went a little long. Had to get my kids to sleep. They were less interested in sleep than normal. So here we are. But I'm also not seeing Rumble as being up. Hopefully, Rumble is up. My restream still says sending data, not streaming. But hey, you know what? That's okay. We'll just get started and hope that it's working. Yeah, don't worry about it, Gardner. I was a few minutes late myself. But we're going to start off with a little bit of humor because, well, I was in the military and military humor is fun. But, yep. Good old military humor. The Marines and the Army are always seen as being more manly, stronger, cooler. You can see here the Air Force and the Navy got some Zoolander shit going. So I just appreciated the humor. So I thought I'd start with that. That was out of the community post for USA Military Connection. If you have any interest or you were a veteran yourself, go ahead and check that out because it is an interesting community to follow. But yeah, moving on. So we left off last week with SpaceX launching their rescue mission. Well, guess what? Guys, they got there. And they were greeted aboard the space station. There were some interesting shenanigans that happened. Let's see if we can get the video pulled up. You can see here, they were boarding. I don't think there's no audio. That's lame. It's space. What do you expect? But yeah, so they were greeted aboard the station. And if I remember correctly, one of them dressed like an alien.
Onishi, the first Crew 10 astronaut through the hatch.
There we go.
Followed by Peskov.
And everyone always likes to say this is all fake. Why not? But yeah, here they are in space.
Nicole Ayers, the first of the Fly's newest class of astronauts to enter. And last commander of Crew 10, Anne McLean.
Yeah, guys. It's good to see Elon still doing some great things. These rescue missions are possible. The United States has access to space without depending on Russia for one reason, guys, and that is SpaceX. So I appreciate what he's doing. He's doing a lot in many different realms, right? He's doing SpaceX for space travel. He's doing Boring Company for underground stuff, which can also include in space. He's doing Tesla for electric vehicles and automated driving, which can also be used in space. Yes, and as Gardner points out, those of you on X, please repost the stream link so that people can see the live and join us. So yes, set up the link. Appreciate it, Gardner. Thank you very much for the reminder. But yeah, guys, like everything he's doing, Neuralink is one of those weird ones. I understand the idea. You can help out people that are paralyzed, people that have other issues. Wonderful. But some of that stuff will also apply in space. Remote operation of drone and mining equipment and all that kind of stuff. So everyone just loves shitting all over Tesla. Sorry, that's a reference. There was a story, and I did not bring it up because it's not super great. But there's, people stink palming Teslas and throwing up on Teslas and burning Teslas and doing all kinds of stupid things to Teslas. Fun thing is, since it's being done for political reasons, it's basically been deemed domestic terrorism. So don't do that, guys. Don't. It's not worth it. You think it's funny because the internet's doing it. It's not funny. Nobody's laughing. In fact, people are getting like 20-year prison sentences for it. So it's not worth it, guys. Don't do it. But you can see here during the splashdown of the rescue. yes, butt up dumb. That's right. Little poop joke. Glad you caught that. Nope, we're gonna mute that because that's probably gonna get my video taken down on YouTube. But you can see here as it splashed down, they were joined by some dolphins. So fun times. But yeah, the 4 astronauts, including the 2 that were stranded last year by Boeing Starliner, have now returned to Earth. So thank you very much, Elon. They spent 10 months. They were supposed to spend like 8 weeks. Good job, Boeing. And good job, Joe Biden, for not letting them rescue them. So fantastic. 10 months later, astronauts made their splashdown in the Gulf of America. Gulf of America, folks. And the people that are all mad about that, can people please explain to them that the United States is part of North America, Mexico is part of North America? Like, it's the Gulf of America. We didn't name it the Gulf of the United States. Like, get over yourselves. It's a funny change. We did it probably to get around the executive orders that would prevent oil exploration and drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Like, just get over yourselves. It's still America, and that's fine. I'm fine with it. Hopefully you're fine with it. But you can see here, orbital launch attempts for all of 2024. So this is an graphic thing. But you can see here, orbital launches. So every company or country that launched something to orbit for 2024 is depicted here. So kind of neat infographic. One of the only bodies of water without 2 names. What do you mean? Like Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean? So the Gulf of America? Now it's got a couple of names. Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of MAGA, who knows? But it does have 3 words in it. That's true. So you see there, Orange Space 1 launch, CAS Space 4, Land Space 1, DPRK. So the Democratic People's Republic of Korea got one in there? Okay. Galactic Energy, a handful. Rocket Lab, a bunch. Iran, 4. Bunch of other people. Firefly got 1. Good job, Firefly. ULA had a couple. USA, guys, catch up. The ISRO, the Indians launched more missions to orbit, or at least attempted more missions to orbit than Europe. Guys, that's actually kind of funny. JAXA, the Japanese folks, got 5. Roscosmos, the Russians, got a bunch. China got a bunch. And SpaceX dwarfs them all. Like, I'm pretty sure if you added them all up, SpaceX has more launches and more mass to orbit than every other launch provider and country combined. So, good job. They're well on their way to meeting their goals, which is to make or building sustainable abundance. That's a weird way of putting that. But you can see here, they are doing all the things that would help with space. Storage with batteries, solar power, charging, electric vehicles, which they also have an insurance company, by the way. Lithium refining into battery cells for their vehicles, service and collision, so repairs. You have their AI modeling for full self-driving, which also feeds into robo-taxis, AI compute, and Optimus. Optimus is going to be a very interesting one to follow. We are probably just a few years at this point, guys, away from everybody having one of those Optimus robots, just like an iRobot, helping out in the kitchen, folding laundry, doing all the things. India Ocean, Afro-Asian Ocean. What? Is that actually a thing? They actually call it the Afro-Asian Ocean? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound real. Is that true, Gardner? Mediterranean. Oh, so you're saying like 2 full names. Okay. The Mediterranean and the Ionian Sea. Interesting. Man, learning new things every day. Thank you for the research, Gardner. But yeah, guys, Elon is just doing great work. So you can be mad at Tesla. You can be mad at Elon for Doge. But yeah, I don't know why. Like, the left is so unhinged. It's because Doge is attacking their funding mechanisms that they're so mad. But the things they're doing are so unhinged. They're encouraging domestic terrorism, guys, and you should not do that. Don't do that. You should not encourage it. You should not do it. And then you get more unhinged people. So Elon Musk announced that he's going to be launching a lawsuit against Jamal Bowman former representative, for calling him a thief and a Nazi, among other things. So let's just watch it real quick. It's not that long.
That's not true. And this shows, again, the American people do not trust Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is incompetent in his position.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bowman. Why? What? Based on what? How would you say Elon Musk is incompetent? He bought Twitter and streamlined it. It is now back to the same valuation it had before. What qualifies you to make this statement? Does anyone have any ideas how former Representative Jamal Bowman would have any level of expertise to give an opinion other than he's real butt mad that Elon is attacking his funding mechanisms for the Democratic Party through Doge? Anyone? I don't think this comes from a position of expertise.
And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, it was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. The court said that because they're mad and they're doing lawfare. The court said, okay, so he's appealing to the authority of the court. He doesn't know anything.
The people are coming back. He's incompetent. He's a thief. He's a Nazi.
What? Based on what, sir? And this is probably why Elon Musk, you can see here in the inlaid post from X, says, I've had enough. Lawsuit inbound. I bet you Elon has more money for attorneys than former Representative Jamal Bowman.
And people don't trust him. Period.
Let me.
I mean, I trust him more than I trust former Rep Jamal Bowman. Anyone else? He was a middle school teacher. Okay, so that obviously qualifies him to speak on the matter. Right? Oh, it's so good. So then we start getting into waste. And this might be a little bit out of order. It might have been better having these first. Oh, gosh, I should reorder some of these. Maha. We're doing it live, folks. All right, that's fine. So you can see here, RFK Jr. is a nice thing. Operation Stork Speed. Going to expand options for safe, reliable, and nutritious infant formula for families in the United States. Now, there was a huge shortage of formula in and around COVID and after. So why is it that there aren't more options? Well, it's heavily regulated by the FDA, among other things, which, to be fair, guys, baby formula is probably one of those things that is important to control, but most of it is made by drug companies. Like, it's made by the drug companies. Gardner posts, Elon was the co-founder of PayPal, and Jamal Bowman was a middle school teacher. Don't forget, Bowman is the one who set off the fire alarm in the Capitol. That's right. He committed a crime. He pulled it. Yep, true weirdo, and not in a good way. Yeah, Jamal Bowman is just one of those people, guys. Can't do much about it. But we haven't seen a lot from Maha yet. But we did have a whole bunch of controversy around soda. But first, let's go over baby formula.
Hi, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. As Secretary of Health and Human Services, one of the agencies that I oversee is the Food and Drug Administration.
Oh, good.
The FDA is responsible for making sure that the food and medicine that Americans put into their body is safe. That's important for everyone, but especially for our children, because they're the most vulnerable, and the most vulnerable of all are our babies. If there's one food that must be safe beyond any doubt, it's infant formula. Mothers who cannot or choose not to breastfeed need to have absolute confidence that their infant formula is ideal for their babies and have many options to choose from. Parents and others who rely on infant formula should know what's in these products and how consuming them may impact their child's health. That's why I'm directing the FDA to launch Operation Stork Speed amongst
the obvious play on Operation Warp Speed, guys. I don't know why they keep hitching their wagon to the vaccine, to the Operation Warp Speed stuff. It was not popular. People didn't like it. It's just a losing topic. They should really drop the marketing around it. Like, I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on it, but I think Trump held on to that way too long.
Many things that will study infant formula to inform updates in federal guidelines. Let me tell you why we're doing this. You see, the science of human nutrition has progressed since current guidelines were put in place in 1998. So we're going to evaluate all the common ingredients from corn syrup solids to seed oils to make sure that they meet the needs of our little ones. Some things we know are bad, like heavy metals. So we're going to increase the frequency of testing to make sure that no child drinks contaminated.
I'm a big fan of heavy metal, but not in my food. Yeah, the fact that there's like corn syrup solids and seed oils, guys, yeah, get that crap out of our baby formula. We don't need to watch the full thing, but yeah, guys, that's crazy. We should absolutely be better aware and better informed about what's in that baby formula. So I fully support Operation Stork Speed, even though I think it's real dumb. The name is dumb. But like I said, we got in a fight about soda, folks. Like, they tried to make it sound like MAGA was divided. There was a couple of people apparently that they think were paid by Big Soda, which sounds real dumb. But yeah, guys, there was a conversation around restricting the purchase of soda using SNAP benefits, which is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. This is food stamps. So you can see here Nick Sortor reporting that large soda companies are paying influencers upwards of $1,000 per post to lobby against SNAP soda ban. Why? Because, according to Nick, Coca-Cola and Pepsi pull in over $5 billion a year from food stamps. Don't fall for it. Big Soda is paying for these posts. You can see your estimated SNAP contribution. If SNAP households spent 5% of their benefits on soft drinks, that's approximately $5.6 billion on soft drinks nationwide. Assuming Coca-Cola is 45% of that spending, that equates to roughly $2.5 billion. Yeah, guys, SNAP is a privilege. These benefits come at taxpayer expense, and they give you something for free. Yes, they are for people that need help, for the most part. People should not be buying junk food with SNAP. It's supposed to be supplemental nutrition. What in soda is nutritious? Other than the water, which is also carbonated, which there's a whole bunch of other studies that have been done over the years, which who knows if we can trust them. But there was studies into whether it impacts things like bone density and other things. Guys, we're poisoning ourselves. We do it with our food. We do it with our drinks. Why would taxpayers pay for this for people on SNAP? Questionable Garter posted in 2009 $135 million on soda in New York City alone. Guys, that is so much soda. If you think about it, you can go to the store and get a 2-liter bottle for 99 cents. That's $1. So that is the equivalent of 135 million 2-liter bottles of soda. That is a lot of soda, guys. And we're paying for it. Do you think that we should be placing more restrictions on what people can buy with SNAP? Because right now we have a lot of restrictions on other programs like WIC, right, where we clearly define things that are eligible and not. To me, it would make sense that there would be things in the store that are eligible and things that are not. Pre-prepared meals, a lot of them aren't. Like, there's a lot of things that we could do here, and I think that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a good candidate for reevaluating some of these programs, maybe updating some of these guidelines to make sure, A, our taxpayer money is being spent well, but B, that the people that are getting the assistance are actually getting nutritious assistance. So I'm totally in the Maha camp on this one, guys. I don't think soda should be eligible for SNAP. I don't think it should be eligible for WIC. I don't think it should be eligible for pretty much any government program. What do you guys think? Do you have any thoughts on that? We get into more waste. DM. Okay. We have a DM. Let's go back. Let's get here. We have sent a photo. Oh, okay. We have a graphic. Let's pull this up. What happens 1 hour after drinking a can of Coke? Hey, Bandit, don't worry about it. Appreciate you showing up. Better late than never. So after an hour after drinking a can of Coke, guys, what do we got? In the first 10 minutes, 10 teaspoons of sugar hit your system, 100% of your recommended daily intake. You don't immediately vomit from the overwhelming sweetness because phosphoric acid cuts the flavor, allowing you to keep it down. 2, your blood sugar spikes, causing an insulin burst. Your liver responds by turning any sugar it can get its hands on into fat. Plenty of this. So there's plenty of that at this particular moment. Yes, lots of obese people, guys. Lots of obesity. 40 minutes. Caffeine absorption is complete. Your pupils dilate. Your blood pressure rises. And as a response to your liver dumps more sugar into your bloodstream. Oh, my God. The adenosine receptors in your brain are now blocked, preventing drowsiness. Okay, so you're awake. That's good. 4, 45 minutes in, your body ups your dopamine production, stimulating the pleasure centers of your brain. This is physically the same way heroin works, by the way. Okay, so 45 minutes in, we're getting a heroin high. I thought they put cocaine in Coke, not heroin. Anyways, number 5, 60 minutes in, the phosphoric acid binds calcium, magnesium, and zinc in your lower intestine, providing a further boost in metabolism. This is compounded by high doses of sugar and artificial sweeteners, also increasing the urinary excretion of calcium. Oh, so people that have issues with things like kidney stones and other digestive problems should probably avoid Coke. I mean, we all should. I've pretty much cut it out entirely from my diet. I have black coffee. And I promise this is water. I promise. It's not moonshine. I know it looks more like moonshine now because there's not as much in the bottle. I promise you it's water. It's black coffee and water. That's it. 60 minutes, caffeine diuretic properties come into play and it makes you have to pee. It's now assured that you will evacuate the bonded calcium, magnesium, and zinc that was headed to your bones, as well as sodium, electrolytes, and water. So that's where you can start to impact your bone density because apparently, it just hijacks the calcium that should have gone to your system. That sucks. West Virginia water. Are you talking about Coke? Oh, never mind. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about moonshine. I promise. This is not moonshine. This is real water. I promise. Not just West Virginia water. This would even be Virginia water. And then number 7, as the rave inside of you dies down, you'll start to have a sugar crash. You may become irritable and or sluggish. You also now literally pissed away all the water that was in the Coke, but not before infusing it with valuable nutrients that your body could have used for things like having the ability to hydrate your system or build strong bones and teeth. Oh, more DMs. Yes. Oh, here we go. Gardner, never see climate alarmists complaining about soda. Yeah. All those acids and heavy metals that we're peeing. You would think that that would be like bad, right? Oh, a phosphate mine. That's okay. Now I see why. Now I see why you DM'd that. Let's see. Let's maybe take it off of that so you don't necessarily see all the DMs. Holy cow. That's a phosphate mine? Yeah, that's got to be good for the environment, right, folks? Also that you can have soda, which has phosphoric acid in it. That's got to be good for the environment. But let's also burn some Teslas while we're at it, like idiots. Don't do that. I was making fun of somebody. YouTube, don't. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying you shouldn't do that. I'm saying that the environmentalists are idiots because the people on the left decided that lighting cars on fire was the answer to Doge, which is awful. Don't do that. They burn terribly, and when they have lithium batteries, it's even worse because then you end up with heavy metal fires. Stop it, guys. Just stop. Please stop being terrorists. Nobody likes terrorists. But Laura Loomer had some reporting late last week that Hunter Biden had Secret Service protection. So you can see here that Donald Trump followed up that Hunter Biden has had Secret Service protection for an extended period of time, all paid for by the U.S. taxpayers. There are as many as 18 people on his detail, which is ridiculous. He's currently vacationing in, of all places, South Africa, where human rights of people have been strenuously questioned. That's an understatement. Because of this, South Africa was taken off our list of countries receiving economic and financial assistance. Please be advised, effective immediately, Hunter Biden will no longer receive Secret Service protection. Likewise, Ashley Biden had 13 agents, was also taken off the list. But an interesting follow to this article, or to this post, Laura Loomer did not give up, and she has an update. And this was the 22nd, so that's today. She first broke the exclusive report that Hunter Biden was vacationing in South Africa with Secret Service detail. Coincidentally, or not, the exact same day, the U.S. Embassy, South Africa, switched out the leadership from Dana Brown to David Green. David Green is a total leftist, has pronouns in his bio. Ooh, we know what that means. And he hasn't updated his LinkedIn to reflect his new job as the head of the U.S. Embassy in South Africa. It still refers to his previous position as the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria. We need to fire, apparently, Secretary Rubio, you need to fire David Green, the newly appointed head of the embassy in South Africa, ASAP. He's a career bureaucrat whose wife donated to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's campaigns. His wife works for Creative Associates, where she is the vice president of their division of economic development. Yeah, guys, he's also still getting embassy help. There's 2 vehicles that are posted. Oh, here we go. So you see here, Hunter Biden is still receiving U.S. taxpayer-funded protection while on vacation in Cape Town, despite President Trump's order to end Hunter Biden's security detail. These vehicles are paid for by the U.S. taxpayers and are owned by the State Department. And yeah, you can read the entire thing posted, but these vehicles are posted outside of the residence where he is still staying in South Africa. So Trump said, pull Secret Service detail, stop paying for things with our taxpayer money. Well, guys, the State Department is still funding protection for them and is still giving them vehicles. So someone needs to be held accountable because they are going against Trump's orders to stop supporting Hunter Biden and his family. Bandit says, I stopped Coke and soda quite a few years ago. You are better off for that, sir. Every now and again, I'll have one, but it's very rare. Yeah. And in more Maha news, Adrian Dittman here posts that fluoride was officially classified as a neurotoxin in the world's top medical journals. To which we get the J.D. Vance meme for conspiracy theorists over the last 80 years, where we tried to talk to people about how fluoride and fluorinating your water might be too much. But they started putting fluoride in infant water, guys. Like, it's absolutely crazy. They've definitely given us too much. Even if a little bit is good for your teeth, which is debatable, they are doing it to the water supply. You are consuming larger quantities than you are probably designed to or ever supposed to. So, interesting that they have now finally recognized it. And again, the only difference between a conspiracy theory and fact is a few months to a few years. Apparently 80 years too, but at least now we know. Now there is consensus that fluoride is a neurotoxin. See here also with government, they always like to argue extremes. So we're transitioning a little bit more towards the Doge side and away from Maha, which is fine. But the Doge side kicks off this week with a recognition by David Sachs that one of the swamp's favorite debating tricks is to pretend that the only way to meaningfully reduce the deficit is to cut Social Security. No, you can go line by line through the budget and cut the waste, fraud, and abuse. It adds up.
No one's ever been fired, ever, for sending money to the wrong place. People send it on purpose. I'm not saying everybody sends it on purpose. I'm saying there are some people who send it on purpose.
Yeah. I would argue a lot of people in government send money to the wrong place on purpose, but I'll let you decide your own opinion. But yeah, who do we ever hear? Who are written articles about where they go, oh, there was some waste or some fraud in this government department, so this person was investigated and jailed. How about fired? Until Doge came around, guys, how many articles have you seen? Now, relying on the media is also dumb, but how many people have seen an article that said, oh, look, they found payments that were not correct, or they found payments that had no traceability. So they fired the person and changed the policy, right? That's the articles you saw a lot, right? No, until Doge, you never saw that. There was no accountability for spending taxpayer money on wasteful projects. There was no consequences for funneling it to your friends. None of it. So it's no wonder it went on for so long and was so ubiquitous.
Some people who are complete morons and an enormous number of people who work for the government who are awesome. I mean, amazing people, right? But what percentage?
I would argue it's not that many, but he seems to think it's a large majority.
Okay, if there's 5.9 million people who work for the government. You're like,
5.9 million. You don't say. That's a lot.
wow, that's
Yeah.
like so many, and we're paying them all. And how many do you really need? I mean, if the answer is 2 million, wow. And we could talk about how we understand it and how we're going to retrain society for the AI industrial revolution is coming, which is going to create the greatest set of jobs and greatest set of growth.
Hey, guys, I'm just curious, how many people do you think the government should have in it, working for it at the federal level? 5 million plus seems kind of high. The 2 million number, even so, I think still seems kind of high. Like, I feel like the federal government, if you really limited it to the things that are specified in the Constitution and in the Bill of Rights, that if you returned all non-federal level things to the states, that you could probably get away with 1 million or less. Like, that would be a fifth. That would be an 80% reduction, which sounds about right. Typically, the 80-20 rule says that 80% of your problems come from 20% of the people, but also the productivity. So, or what was it? Your productivity comes from 20% of your people, 80% of your people. Yeah, you could probably just get rid of. So let's say just under 1 million, like, I don't know, 800,000 maybe. That would probably be enough for the things the government is supposed to be doing. That right there would save the government a ton of money. Think about all that payroll and pension liability that you would save.
Ever.
Okay,
but then, and we could talk about that.
Yeah.
But the key is stop sending money to the wrong place so we can make sure we can always defend sending money to the right place.
Ooh, good point, Mr. Sachs. Because if you're half the time sending money to the wrong place, people are just going to say stop spending money altogether because you can't be trusted to do it. So that makes sense. If you make it higher integrity, people are going to be more likely to support the things that you're doing. Hey, more integrity, more transparency in government. I like it, Mr. Sachs. Keep it up.
I would never allow, if I can stand it, to not pay somebody who retired at 65 their benefits.
Yeah,
I find it disgusting when we're the richest country in the world and some politician says, in order to save Social Security, rather than getting rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, we should move it to 70.
Yeah.
How about no? How about we're rich enough to give people the benefit of the bargain?
Yeah.
But are we? Like, most of what he said made sense. But that last statement right there, are we rich enough? Are we? Because let me find out. Are we rich enough? Are we rich enough right now to continue to pay out the things that we are? We are $36.6 trillion in debt right now. We have a deficit of $2 trillion per year. The Doge clock, good to see Doge is up to 231 billion. So that's nice. Saved us a couple of $1,000s. But yeah, guys, U.S. federal debt to GDP ratio, Look at that transition from the 60s to now. The 80s even, we were lower, 34.54. I'm looking right up here, guys. 34.54% debt to GDP. We are now 122% debt to GDP. But the one that you really need to look at right here, total interest paid, sure. But the U.S. total debt, this line, $102 trillion. $102 trillion, guys. You can see on this line that we currently spend more on interest than we do on national defense. Like if you haven't spent time on this page really looking at it and clicking around, you should. I highly encourage everybody to spend a little more time on the debt clock because, well, it's just gross. And you should be better informed because the media will not be informing you. Hey, West Virginia, good to see you. All right, so Gardner has some numbers for us. So we have 340 million U.S. citizens, 5.9 million federal workers, one federal worker for every 57.6 citizens. Now, how many people are actually in the workforce? I want to say that's actually closer to like 140, 150 million. So it's actually a lot higher than that because the total citizen count includes like small children and people that are over retirement age. But that's one federal person for every 43 people over the age of 18. Whew. Yeah, guys, I don't think that's sustainable. Like that doesn't make sense to me. Why we would have that many people in the federal government. Other than they're trying to make it as large as possible to take over as much of your life as possible, which I'm not a big fan of. And you can see here more cuts. Gunther Eagleman is reporting here that Kelly Loeffler announced a 43% reduction in staff at the Small Business Administration. Yes, 43%. Yes, that's a good start. Although that looks like a rookie number, Kelly. Let's pump that up. Let's get closer to 70 or 80%, huh? But yeah, if every agency reduced by half, that's crazy. Okay, so we have updated numbers from the questionable Gardner, 170.7 million. I was a little off, but close. So that means that there's actually one federal worker for every 29 people in the workforce. Guys, that number's too damn high. Too damn high. Way too high. And it goes to things like this. Speaking of the questionable Gardner, a community post from his group, the Topic Exchange. The DOE, Department of Education, not energy this time, Department of Education was a grift, skimming off the top with no accomplishments. Test scores are lower now than when it was created, and we've spent billions to get dumber. I agree with that assessment. So let's see what the original Doge post was. The U.S. Department of Education has spent $3+ trillion since 1979. Since then, per pupil spending has gone up by 245% with almost nothing to show for it. Guys, you tell me, what organization other than the U.S. federal government can you increase expenditures by 245% and not have to show results? I'll wait. Does anybody have an idea? What other organization could you get away with increasing spending by 2.5 times? 2.5 times and get not just nothing, but worse results. Would any company on the planet survive in those conditions? It says there's been basically no measurable improvement in student achievement. Math and reading scores for 13-year-olds are at their lowest level in decades. 6 in 10 fourth graders and nearly 3/4 of 8th graders are not proficient in math. 7 in 10 4th and 8th graders are not proficient in reading, while 40% of 4th grade students don't even meet basic reading levels, guys. They can't even read. Standardized testing has remained flat mostly because they just started by teaching the test. So they haven't really changed that. So yeah, not a lot of change. And U.S. students rank 28th out of the 37, whatever OECD is, but member countries in math. Guys, that's an embarrassment. So since 2000, headcount at the Department of Education has fallen 14%, while spending has increased 649%. Questionable Gardner gave us some more updated numbers. General Motors has one supervisor for every 59 employees. The U.S. has one agent for every 29 workers. Oh, I mean, I would not want to be a manager of 59 direct reports. Like that seems like a lot. Having to do like one-on-one meetings, performance evaluations, all that kind of stuff. Like with 59 direct reports, your full job is doing HR stuff. That sounds awful. Just awful. But yeah, guys, the U.S. Department of Education. The best part about it, though, guys, is that it's probably going away. It's been ordered to go away. They're really paring back a lot of their operations. I thought I had a link for that, but apparently I don't. Oh, wait. Let me skip the order on this one. There we go. Okay, so here we have a post by the disrespected trucker, but here is a nice little TikTok showing the difference between Reagan and Trump.
I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education.
By the way, $10 billion. I mean, back then that was a lot of money, but it's way bigger now. And I agree, Shell. It is crazy.
Created by President Carter, and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen. Boom. I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
He's exactly right.
Yep.
Okay. He'd be proud of you.
Yep. Trump signed an executive order to end or close most of the operations for the Department of Education. Yes, there is some mandated operations that will have to continue because they were legislated that way. Hopefully we can get enough legislative support to make this permanent. That would be amazing. Yes, Bandit, I hope it goes away. I agree. Boom. Questionable Gardner says he has DM'd SAT scores versus graduation rates since 1970. Bless your heart. All right, let's look at this chart. Holy buckets. Average SAT score is much lower. It started off at, what would that be? I'll just say 1125. We'll extrapolate there a bit. And graduation rates were about 77% for high school. Okay. Well, over this period of, what would that be, 53 years, we have had a decline down to 1025. So a 100-point decline in SAT scores. And yet high school graduation rates have exceeded 85%. That doesn't seem right unless we have turned school into a pump and not a filter. I saw some of this happening in the military, guys, as the nuclear pipeline was turned into a pump instead of a filter. Before I went in, the dropout rate in the Navy nuclear program was almost 50% did not make it. Like, it was that way on purpose. But then it's just like, hey, no idiot left behind. I assume that means no child left behind, Gardner, but I like the joke. But yeah, guys, they turned the nuclear pipeline into a pump. They just needed more people, and there were fewer and fewer qualified people. So you know what they did? They said, hey, we're not going to make it as challenging anymore. We're going to dumb it down. You're not going to have to take your own notes. They did all kinds of stuff to make the program easier to pass. Thankfully, we haven't had any significant consequences for that yet. But yeah, definitely no idiot left behind. Oh, I don't know why that hits me. That hits me that way, but that just tickles my funny bone. Thank you very much, Gardner. But in efficiency, you have here Laura Ingraham reporting that Florida returned $878 million in unused federal funds. Have you ever heard of anybody returning federal funds? I like the idea of this. Now, it's not a whole lot of, like I say, it's not a whole lot of money. It's a lot of money. $878 million is a lot of money. But when you talk about $102 trillion of total debt, it's not. But at least we're starting to see this. I think if everyone could get behind this, that would be good for everybody. There are a lot of things that people need to emulate Florida on, guys. Elections is another one, because they were able to count their vote within a few hours, and they reported it out, and it was done. And then you have idiot states like California that were counting their vote for weeks and weeks, and then finally kept counting until somebody with a D next to the name got far enough ahead that, oh, look, we have another representative that's a Democrat, because we kept counting. I don't know why anybody believes that that's legitimate, but it is the system that they have over there in California. So it is what it is. So Questionable Gardner says he's DM'd something about spending. Okay, well, let's see what we got. U.S. Department of Education budgets remain historically high. Oh, look at that 2009 number. Good Lord. So back when it first started, like Reagan said, he'd like to eliminate the $10 billion department. Well, you can see there even as far back as 2011, it was 77.8, peaked out in 2009. Yeah, $137 billion for real shitty test results. That seems unproductive. Maybe we should stop doing that. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but yeah, we should probably stop it. But yeah, I agree, Bandit. Florida. Yep, Florida is being a really good example, guys. Their elections make a lot more sense. They need to do more things like this, which is returning money that you haven't used. Because for the most part, the zero-based budgeting, I think it's called, but the idea and the concept of federal budgeting is you have a certain amount of money, and if you don't use all of it, next year you won't get all of it. And so people budget based on the total amount, and they spend the total amount so that the next year they get the same amount. It's an inefficient way of doing budgeting. I don't like it. It's dumb. But hey, so good on Florida for sending some of that money back. If you're not going to use it, don't hold on to it and spend it on bullshit. Don't buy a bunch of TVs and other things. DM'd, Questionable Gardner has now DM'd me some overlays of SAT scores and BS spending. Oh, looks like we did a little transparency there. Okay. I like this. I like the idea here. So you can see here the Department of Education budget. So as SAT scores were dropping, spending was going up. And as spending went up, so did graduation rates. There was probably a funding incentive to having more people graduating. So you saw a correlation there. As it ramped up there in 2000, between, what would that be, like 2005, 2010, around that area? Or 2000, 2005? Yeah, so that whole ramp there lines up almost exactly, which tells me there was definitely a funding incentive based on graduation rates and not on SAT scores. Interesting overlay. I like it. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, Gardner's doing great work, guys. He is a great researcher, guys. Go to the space that we do on Tuesday, because we co-host a space together Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. in his group. He always talks about how he likes doing research for me and not for himself. So if you want to see him do research for himself, come to the space on Tuesday. It feels totally different. But you can see here, Elon Musk followed up with the post about Social Security and having a bunch of super old people. Look at that. we have cleaned up some of these numbers. So they are starting to go through and clean up the numbers for people that are very, very dead. There's no way that people are over 150 years old. So the numbers are coming down, not down far enough. As far as I'm concerned, guys, if there is a number that is attached to somebody over 120 years old in the database, just get rid of all of them. You can't possibly convince me that there is a bunch of people rolling around in the United States, especially not millions of them, that are over 120 years old. Unless they're living in like, what would it be? King Kong, the movie where there was like the center of the earth. Like unless there's a colony somewhere below the surface in the United States, just full of millions of people that are like hundreds of years old. Guys, these numbers are complete BS. They began a major cleanup of their records. Approximately 3.2 million number holders, all listed age 120 plus, have now been marked as deceased. More work still to be done. Good. So it looks like they're still cleaning up the numbers. And Data Republican does follow up, say, no, these people are likely not receiving checks. The cleanup of the Social Security database is about something much more important. It's about establishing a ground truth. I'm going to pull this up. Holy cow. The reason that DC is panicking about the establishing a truly accurate database, and it's because much of the federal government revolves around having no true ground truth. If your average person understood the scope and scale of the problem of having the data scattered across various agencies, how it hurts normal citizens, they would revolt. Wow. Shell says Tuesday nights are fun. They're both awesome guys. So are you, Bandit. Yes. West Virginia follows up again with good job, Gardner. Always doing great stuff. But yeah, guys, as Jenica here points out, we don't have truth in our agencies. We don't have truth in our reporting. If all of the truth came out, I think people would be much more angry, which is another reason I think that they're fighting Doge so vehemently. Let's see Caroline Livet here talk to Caitlin Collins, because that's always a good time.
Of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you
This was the auto pen.
should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out.
Okay,
Sean.
The reporter was asking if there was any evidence that Biden was unaware of the auto pen signatures that were being used for things like pardons. So she said, you're the journalist. You figure it out. What do you think, Gardner? Do you think that journalists should do their own investigating? You're pretty good at it. I figure your opinion is going to probably be yes. But as a follow-up to that, Trump says the pardons that Joe Biden... So this was a follow-up. I should have put this first. My bad, guys. Trump says the pardons that Joe Biden gave are void because they were done by auto pen. This was... Says the pardons that sleepy Joe Biden gave the unselect committee of political thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by auto pen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. And let me just clarify, by Joe Biden, because I think especially the Biden family ones, probably it was Jill, same person who ran those cabinet meetings. He knew nothing about them. And the people that did may have committed a crime. Therefore, those on the unselect committee who destroyed and deleted all evidence obtained during their 2-year witch hunt of me and many other innocent people should fully understand that they are subject to investigation at the highest level. The fact is that they were probably responsible for the documents that were signed on their behalf without the knowledge or consent of the worst president in the history of the country, crooked Joe Biden. Guys, Trump, just the way he talks, just wonderful. Garner says it's not that hard. I assume you're talking about the investigative journalism. Yeah, digging for some information is not that hard. Information is so abundant, guys. You just have to be willing to go look for it. But the best troll of the week definitely goes to this picture. which I hope this isn't a Photoshop. I hope this is actually in the hallway. But you got the presidential portraits for Trump 1, and then Biden's presidency is the auto pen signature. There's just something about his sense of humor, guys, that just gets me every time. Every time. I love it. I love it. And then someone here posted a follow. Oh, Bricksuit found the video. Somebody added JD Vance for an 8-year term afterwards. Fantastic. Yep. Agree, Bandit. This was perfect. Love our president. Absolutely. Absolutely. But in more not surprising news at all, Libs of TikTok here reports that Jonathan Burma, the outspoken anti-Trump former FBI counterintelligence officer, holy crap, that was a long title, has been arrested for leaking confidential and classified information. Oh, no. Oh, who would have thought that might have happened? Oh, wait, everybody. Because the FBI agent that was who criticized the Bureau under Trump, is charged with disclosing confidential information. Jonathan Burma, a 15-year FBI veteran, was arrested as he was getting ready to board an international flight. He's accused of printing out about 130 files of classified documents and messages, and later sharing the material with associates for a book he was writing about his career at the Bureau. A book, guys. Here I was thinking to myself, maybe it was like China or some other political adversary that'd be willing to spend a lot of money. But no, he just wanted to write a book. So he printed off a bunch of confidential stuff. Guys, they think they're so important. These people that are obstructionists in our government that are trying to keep the bureaucracy afloat, they look at themselves and they think they're so important. It's so hilarious to me and annoying. But now we get into lawfare, guys. Some of the things that have happened over the past week, we've been celebrating the progress that Doge has been making. This week, we saw a very sharp turn. Not that Doge was being less effective, but that the judiciary has started becoming more aware and more active in trying to hinder Doge and Donald Trump's progress when it comes to paring down our bureaucracy. Mike Benz here says the U.S. is experiencing firsthand at home what the blob has been doing for 35 years around the globe when it sets up rule of law and judicial reform and governance programs abroad. A captured judiciary serves as a backstop if they lose an election. The New York Post said federal judge orders deportation flights carrying alleged Venezuelan gangbangers to return to the U.S. after Trump invokes the Alien Enemies Act. So we talked about this last week. Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act. Trump deported a whole bunch of them, sent them to El Salvador. While they were in air, this idiot judge decided that he was going to order that the plane turn around. It is not the judiciary's position to interfere in international negotiations or the handling of criminals and terrorists, especially ones that are here not legally. Mike follows up with, we let the American Bar Association and all the blob legal incubators persist for too long here without challenge. The high-level judges have done the long walk through the institutions for decades. As Trump 2.0 takes on big university, a very close look should be taken at the records of law schools. It's probably a good idea, guys. The judiciary is just getting out of hand. You can see here, though, that we're starting to fight back. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, told us in a tweet, we've gone over it on multiple weeks. He said this exact same thing happened when they were trying to fix El Salvador. They started to make progress, and then there was a bunch of judges that tried to get in the way. So they impeached them all out of the way, and then they continued to fix their country. That's exactly what we need to do. It's what Nayib Bukele said we should do. It's what he did, and it worked. So we should absolutely be doing it. So what does Brandon Gill here do? Representative Brandon Gill is filing articles of impeachment against Judge James Bosberg. I don't know. James B., who blocked Trump from invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Yes, all of these judges that are trying to get in the way for political only reasons, especially the ones who have spouses that are sitting on the boards or donating to things that are funded by USAID, you can kick rocks. You guys all should be impeached. If you are making decisions from the bench and trying to interfere in the executive doing his constitutionally designated things, you should be impeached for being political and doing things that are contrary to the Constitution. So good job, Brandon Gill. Let's keep it up. Let's do more of that. Because as shown here, and I fully support this, Nick Sortor reports that Trump is refusing to allow activist judges to undermine his power as president. So the DOJ slammed the hammer down on the judge attempting to block the deportations of Tren de Aragua. Or as Alex Stein would say, the Tren de Arugula. I thought Gardner would get a kick out of that one because arugula, it's a kind of lettuce, I think. But the Tren de Arugula, plaintiffs cannot use these proceedings to interfere with the president's national security and foreign affairs authority, and the court lacks jurisdiction to do so. The court should vacate the hearing and de-escalate the grave incursion on executive branch authority that has already arisen. This is what I voted for. It's also what I voted for, and I'm pretty sure it's what you voted for as well. Yeah, guys. Trump's just like, nah, dog. This is my job. This is my authority that I'm using. I'm gonna use it. It's spicy. Arugula is spicy. Like it's a spicy lettuce, or I thought caliente is. Oh, that's hot. Is that a translation, or are you just saying the lettuce is spicy? Provide clarity, please. I need to know. But you can see here also Mike Lee is introducing legislation because, like I've said in prior weeks, words are hard today, guys. As I've said in prior weeks, we need DOJ to do their job. We need the executive branch to do their job. We need the legislative branch to do their job, though. And here you have Donald Trump's post talking about these unlawful injunctions by the radical left judges could lead to the destruction of the country. So Mike Lee follows up and says, hey, I'm introducing a bill next week that's going to make it more difficult for activist judges to subvert the will of our duly elected president. The plant is spicy. I was making a stretch for spicy draw. Okay, so arugula, the plant, is spicy. Okay. I like spicy foods. But yeah, guys, Trump here talks about that these judges are doing crazy things. Like they need to stop. So Mike Lee's going to make it harder, as they should. We need to start following these things with DOJ up with legislation to make them permanent. Then people can bring lawsuits. It can go through the judiciary. It can go to the Supreme Court. It can do its normal thing. That's fine. But the legislative branches, the legislative branch, the House and the Senate need to start codifying some of these changes into law. We need our people to do that. Johnson, where are we on this? Why have we not started seeing more progress? I know you've got to draft legislation, but can we make legislation that's short and sweet and to the point? Like, why can't we make legislation that's like 2 pages long and basically says, hey, these changes, we're making those permanent. Good job. Instead, they're going to make them a couple 1,000 pages long, and it's going to be annoying, and there's going to be a bunch of other bullshit in it that no one wants just to get it voted for, because to pass cloture, you need 60 votes in the Senate. Then the way they get that is through bribery, and I hate it. But nice thing is, the U.S. Immigration and Customs folks put out the CBP Home app as a replacement for the CBP One app, which was used to schedule appointments to come into the country. They have now made it so the CBP Home app is for self-deportations, letting the government know that you plan on leaving. Essentially, they are saying if you're ready to self-deport, submit your intent to depart on the new CBP Home mobile app. So the crazy thing about this is they're talking if you self-deport, you might have a pathway back in the future. And that if you do not self-deport and they have to deport you, that there is not a legal path to citizenship for you. I hope that is the case. I hope that gets legislated into law because I think that is the correct answer. Guys, if you violate our immigration laws and you come here illegally, in the future, if you think that you should be eligible to stay here, I disagree. I completely disagree. So go home on your own, and maybe in the future somebody will have sympathy for you. I don't. I think if you came here illegally once, you probably have that mentality and you'll probably do it again. So let's not encourage that. Bandit says anything they can do to impede progress. Yep, it's really effed up. Yes, I agree. These people are doing everything they can to impede progress because progress means less money in their pocket. And that money is our money. It's yours and mine. It's money that is printed that devalues the money that we do have. This federal spending, guys, it's so destructive the way that it's being done right now. It's not sustainable long term. We pulled up the debt clock earlier. Like $102 trillion of total debt. $36.6 trillion just in federal debt obligations. And that's not even speaking of unfunded liabilities in the future that have to do with all of these entitlement programs. The value of the US dollar since 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act has gone down 98%. We have lost 98% of the original purchasing power from 1913 in a $1 US. 98%. How much further down is it going to continue to go until we change something? Hopefully not that much further. Now, Hegseth has been one of my favorite nominees so far, but he's just making fun of these judges now because these activist judges are trying to force him to allow transgenders and any DSM recognized mental illness, any of them should be allowed into the military, according to these judges. So Hegseth invited they to come to Fort Benning at 6 a.m. to instruct Army Rangers on conducting high-value target raids. Random judges should have no say in military operations. And you know what, guys? I agree.
So if we're trying to breach a wall, a door, we will have pre-built charges prior to going out on the mission. If the initiation system fails, you always carry your alternative means. That way you can rapidly attempt to initiate that breach. Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Jacob Braun. I'm a platoon sergeant in 75th Ranger Regiment, and this is everything that a Ranger would typically carry on a night raid. The Rangers are the Army's premier special operations light infantry raid force. We focus primarily on airfield seizures
Dr. Gold.
and raid type objectives. We primarily focus on nighttime raids just due to the surprise element. We rapidly overcome the objective, do what we need to do, and then rapidly withdraw from the target objective, typically in one period of darkness.
That's a night, by the way, for civilians out there. How's it going, Dr. Gold? Good to see you around on the stream. Hopefully your day is going well. I know you're typically at work on break when you're watching, so thank you, as always, for attending.
I've served 12 years in the Ranger Regiment. I've deployed 9 times.
9 times in 12 years?
And I've used this exact equipment sitting here numerous times on night raids to accomplish the mission.
So do you think judges have any idea about any of that? Do you think their input should be valued at all? Or do you think we should just let maybe Hegseth make those decisions? Guys, when it comes to the military, the president is the commander-in-chief. His appointees, the Secretary of Defense, like these people are in positions that qualify them to make military decisions. These inferior court judges, a lot of the times, some superior, But a lot of them are inferior courts. These justices are just making decisions, trying to set government policy and override the president and his nominees. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now. And the way that happens, just like we saw a few tabs ago, we need to start filing articles of impeachment. They need to start impeaching these judges for overreach. Now, we had another big change this week. Monday morning, Mr. Bongino started as the deputy director of the FBI. Now, I'm really hoping that this is a good change. He seems to already be kind of getting himself into his position and making some waves. I hope to see much greatness out of Mr. Bongino. His final stream, I have still yet to have the time to sit and watch it. I do want to. I know it was very heartfelt. I know that Rumble is taking off, guys. If you look at Rumble, they have bigger lineups on their morning shows and their throughout the day live streams than almost any other platform. They are crushing it right now. And there are people that are really doing a good job filling in some of the gaps where Dan Bongino left things behind. Trying to find out which. Got a DM night raid bag under the Biden administration. Oh, guys. Very nice. So night raid bag and some nice. I like, yes, good logo, but a bunch of makeup. Well done, Gardner. Very good. That's my researcher, just doing great work. Night raid bag from the Biden administration looks very different from the one from the Trump administration. I should not be having that much fun with it. Thank you very much. Love it. Much appreciation. See, West Virginia, you have somebody competing for the spot of trying to get me kicked off the streams. So you gotta step up your game there, West Virginia. But you can see here, Dan Bongino posted, he paid a visit to the ATF. It is a new era, one where Americans will be kept safe and their constitutional rights will be protected. Great to see. And look at the White House follow-up post. A well-regulated militia. They literally posted the text of the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed. Yes, based as Anna Paulina Luna posts. Yes, I agree. I completely agree. And if this is the stance and this is the kind of stuff that we're going to see out of Dan Bongino, I am so excited. We got a video of Dan Bongino's farewell podcast. Oh. Yep. Yeah, look at that, guys. He had the largest live stream, I think, overall. He had one of the biggest shows, guys, and he walked away from it to serve. Just like Trump walked away from his brand, his organizations, running his businesses to be the president, to serve. These are the kinds of people that, in my opinion, we need more of. So let's support him. Bandit here says, I love Dan Bongino. Yeah, guys, he's been doing great work out in the live stream and the podcast space. He's been doing great work for the conservative space. I am very excited to see the work that he's going to do as the deputy director for the FBI under Kash Patel. I think the two of them are going to be great. I hope they can do a lot of reforms, make a lot of cuts. A lot of it's going to be common sense. Oh, here's the follow-up. Had this one a little out of order again. Man, my show prep today, like I said, my kids were being very, very, they did not want to go to bed at all. They even skipped their nap today. I figured they'd be really ready to go to bed, but that didn't happen. So show prep was a little off. So you can see here, Nayib Bukele today, the 1st, and this was from the 16th. So that's Sunday. So the day after our show last week, the first 238 members of the Venezuelan criminal organization Tren de Aragua arrived in our country. They were immediately transferred to CICOT, the Terrorism Confinement Center, for a period of 1 year. Renewable. Oh, it's like a lease. United States will pay a very low fee for them, but a high one for us. Over time, these actions, combined with the production already being generated by more than 40,000 inmates engaged in various workshops and labor under zero idleness programs, will help make our prison system self-sustainable. As of today, it costs $200 million per year. On this occasion, the U.S. has also sent us 23 MS-13 members wanted by Salvadoran justice, including 2 ringleaders. One of them is a member of the criminal organization's highest structure. As always, we continue advancing in the fight against organized crime, but this time we are helping our allies, making our prison system self-sustainable and obtaining vital intelligence to make our country an even safer place, all in a single action. May God bless El Salvador, and may God bless the United States. If you want to see what it's like, yeah, guys, they don't mess around when it comes to this at all. I love to see it. And as Dr. Gold says, the Second Amendment protects the other amendments. Yeah, absolutely. Without the Second Amendment, guys, nothing is to stop the government from taking away all the other ones. Nothing. Gardner says 8.7 million weekly listeners on his radio show. That's a lot. Bongino's podcast, 350 million downloads in 2024. Woo! Those are some numbers. Okay, how many people do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 people from the press, it looks like, in the orange vests. We have lining both sides is law enforcement, and then walking the person. We have 1, 2 physically touching, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 following. Head down. Oh, yeah, stoners. Okay. Well, I'm sure that's a gang tattoo if I ever saw one. What do you guys think? Again, head down. They're not messing around with these guys. That guy doesn't look very happy. Bandit says, I could watch them deport all day. Yeah. Questionable Gardner has a follow-up DM. I'll get to that as soon as the video is over. I love that they put this out as like a promotional video. Yeah, look at that facility, guys. Again, heads down. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. I have a question. What are they going to shave on his head? His head's already shaved. What do you guys think? Before we keep going, what do you think they're going to do? They're shaving the guy in the yellow. They're shaving his head. It's like, but guy in the white, his head's already shaved. What do you think? Oh, you know what? He has facial hair. Do you think they're going to get that? Ah, yep. There you go. Ooh. Reminds me of going through boot camp. Nombre, name. Dr. Gold, this video makes me so happy. Yep, beard. You were correct. It makes me happy too, Dr. Gold. It really does. It's good to see people starting to take some of these criminals seriously. The takeovers of the apartment complexes in Colorado, along with all the other things that this gang has been doing, is crazy that it was tolerated under Biden's administration. Absolutely crazy. The only thing that makes sense is that that was intentional. It was done to cause chaos. They let these people into our country to cause chaos. That is my opinion. I don't have any information to back that up other than they were here. And they're like, "Oh, it's okay. They've taken it's only been like 2 or 3 apartment complexes. It's fine." One is too many, guys. For illegal alien criminal organizations, 1 inch is too much. 1 building is too many. 1 is too many. So I love to see this. I like the basic attire as well. You have white shoes, white shorts, white shirt. That's it. You don't get to look special. The only thing funnier, I think, was I think it was Sheriff Joe Arpaio was putting them in like pink underwear out in the desert in tents. They weren't able to stay in the barracks in the jail. Like Sheriff Joe Arpaio is another one of those real good ones. Yeah, guys, I could watch that all day. All day. Love to see it. So we have a DM, some more research for unconfirmed but good source. Interesting. Let's get it pulled up. U.S. Homeland Security News. We'll see. Lots of followers. Security news updates by U.S. National Security, Border Security. Fair enough. Again, unconfirmed, guys, but here is a post. Update. George Soros funneled $7.6 million to one of 5 groups targeting Tesla. Excuse me. 5 militant groups are behind the coordinated attacks on Tesla properties as part of a campaign against Doge, stated Elon Musk. Yeah, not surprised. Would not be surprised at all. For many, many years, Soros was using USAID as an amplifier. So you would spend a couple $1 million spinning up an NGO or a nonprofit. You would give it some purpose, political targeting of some sort. You would get it funded by USAID, and you would get it legislated that it's just going to keep getting money. It's going to keep getting money. And you can turn your couple $1 million investment into a NGO or a nonprofit, and you can turn it into billions and billions of dollars. That's taxpayer dollars to do with what you will. Again, it is a form of leverage that everybody assumed Soros is this multi-billionaire and he was directly funding all this stuff. He's smarter than that, guys. We don't like him. I don't like the guy at all, but he's not an idiot. Like, I can recognize that. So he's utilizing the mechanisms that were put in place the bureaucracy, these organizations like USAID, he is utilizing them to get leverage and amplify the impact of his dollars. And he has a lot of dollars to have impact with. But if he can 10x or 100x the impact of those dollars by using your and my money, he'll do it. And he has a history of doing it. But yeah, as a follow-up to this Tren de Aragua stuff, you got this dude, this clown right here, shot 80 rounds at police and injured 3 officers in Colorado. He's an MS-13 gang member, had 14 felonies, was out on bond for 3 felonies when he committed the shooting. Why was he out on the streets? What do you guys think? This is what soft on-crime Democrat policies get you. I agree. This whole no cash bail program, this whole just let people out on the streets, all of it. Guys, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Where we're allowing this to happen? What are we doing? Like, this kind of stuff is amazing to me, that Democrat cities are willing to put people like this back out on the street, put you at risk, put your kids at risk, put my kids at risk. And for what? What value does this guy actually bring to the city? Other than, oh, look, we get more federal dollars for these gang task forces. So they want more federal money. Oh, look, we have this big problem with gangs. They're all over the streets. They're crazy. We need more federal money to help. It's a grift, guys. It's all a grift. And it's their way of getting more people that can vote. But as a fight to that, Tom Homan here, borders are, yes, Tom Homan. So this is not the real Tom Homan. This is a parody account. But here's a post that President Trump is revoking the temporary protected status, with deportations being allowed as early as next month. So this involves approximately 530,000 people from Haiti, Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, which the Biden administration allowed in. They basically set up these programs and gave them temporary protected status, where it's like, oh, you have a sponsor in the U.S., just fly in. You can come in. You can stay. It's legal. They legalized illegal immigration. That's what they tried to do with these programs. So it's good to see that President Trump is now revoking it. Now, that's obviously going to be fought in court. There's all these activist judges are going to fight it because it's going to remove some of their voters. Alleged. My opinion. It's going to remove voters. So the Democrats are going to fight it. These Democrat judges are going to fight it. Legislators are going to fight it. Like Schumer, he's going to fight it. Because these are their voters, in my opinion. These are people that they think are going to be beholden to them and their party. So if if they get gotten rid of, then they're going to lose a lot of voters, guys. So instead of letting that happen, they're going to fight it. But it's good to see Trump trying to make progress. Love to see it. Kash Patel is also posting. Thank you to Gunther Eagleman for reporting this. Kash Patel revealed that he is vigorously removing any person who violates their oath of office. Rip out corruption, root and stem.
I want the American public to know, too, we've had problems at the FBI. We are going to hold ourselves internally accountable for those meting out justice who have the privilege to serve and wear the gun and the badge or the uniform of the FBI out in the field. Where those missteps have been taken, we've already addressed that by eliminating those people from the roles of the FBI, and we will continue to vigorously uphold on a 24/7, 365 basis, as vigorously as we pursue violent crime, those that abuse or corrupt or violate their oath of office at the FBI, and I will not stand for, I will have zero tolerance for those that we will utilize our badge to harm our country.
Yes, zero tolerance, you see. I really do think that Kash is going to be a good appointee. I think he's going to do great work. I think he's still trying to figure it out. I haven't seen a lot of public posts from Kash. At least not with regard to some of the things. But, guys, I think we got to give him a little bit of time. Not everyone is going to move at the same pace that President Trump did, or Doge. But I don't trust the FBI under cash, but it's a relative thing, right? Like, I think the FBI has more of a chance of becoming trustworthy, or at least maybe just disappearing under cash. But I don't think we're going to get that. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think we're actually going to see a significant reduction to the FBI? Like we're seeing in some of these other departments? Do you think we're going to see an appreciable reduction in manning? Do you think we're going to see some cuts to their scope or responsibility? Like, I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope they can do some reforms there. I hope they can really kind of change them, put them back on mission. Instead of spending like 30% of or 40% of the FBI targeting January 6ers, like, that was a complete waste of resources. Let's see. Dr. Gold says, just put the gangs in jail like what the FBI did to the mob. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these gangs could probably go up on RICO charges, right? Start using RICO. Bandit says cash, thumbs up, 100. Yeah. So far, I think he's doing a good job. So we're going to keep an eye out on him. We're going to make sure he keeps doing a good job, but I have some confidence. You see here that he posted 2 major drug seizures coming out of FBI Houston, part of their Safe Streets task force. Now, again, the whole war on drugs, guys, it's kind of tired. We need to start seeing some actual improvement, or we should just stop. Because I think a lot of it, too, is the government was funding both sides of this. They were propping up the drug cartels at the same time, saying that they were fighting the drug cartels. So they're shutting down 2 large distribution points. They're up to an incredible 150 kilos of narcotics seized just this week alone. American neighborhoods are safer every day because of the work these men and women are doing. Again, the war on drugs, guys, I really think we should see significant gains, or just definitely cut off the funding. Maybe start targeting them back home. Don't wait for the stuff to show up here. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think we should start targeting them? Because I think as we start, they classified a couple of them as foreign terrorist organizations, right? So we could start using some of that power. Also, a little more winning. You have here Libs of TikTokers reporting out that Taiwan's president says he's going to invest in Alaska's $44 billion natural gas pipeline project and promises to buy his natural gas from the U.S. Now, this is Taiwan. China does not recognize Taiwan as being a country. China recognizes Taiwan as being part of China. So this is going to tie them closer to us. I don't know how I feel about that, guys, because eventually China is probably going to try and reclaim Taiwan. And if that happens and we have more and deeper ties like this, it's probably more likely, not less, that we're going to be involved in it. And I'm getting really tired of all these foreign entanglements. I really am. We can do everything. We can do it great back home. We need to start doing everything back home. We need to start making chips here in the United States more. We need to start producing vehicles more here. We need to start producing pharmaceutical-based products here. We need to start producing a lot of stuff here. And that's what the goal of a lot of the tariffs are, is to push so that we produce things here. That way we don't have to worry about when somebody gets invaded over there because they have cobalt mines that we need for our renewable stuff. Or we don't have to care when someone over there gets invaded because they have a bunch of oil because we have our own. An independent America is a safer America. So, good. I'm glad to see them investing and getting more natural gas pipelines. We need energy. Cheap energy is the best way to get prices down. It's the best way to get more innovation. But guys, it's better that they invest in us than in China. Sure. Top comment there. What we like is investing in the United States and not investing in China. True. But at what cost? Not that I want them to give this money to China, but is this a lesser of two evils? I don't know. I just feel like we're going to end up getting drawn into this conflict, and I don't like it. Speaking of conflicts and nonsense, you have Riley Gaines is on here, but Piers Morgan has had some interesting takes as of late. And you can see here that this guest, this guy is upset. I'll just say, very upset. Top comment before we even watch it: dumbest human on earth. That might be a little hyperbolic, but let's see what he has to say.
Now you can respond. Women cannot be racist to white women. Are you kidding me?
Black women can't be racist to white women. That's the statement we open with. He is making the statement that black women can't be racist against white women. To which, bless her heart, she, homegirl's just sitting over there smiling. Not this dude, but like the girl over there.
Sorry? That makes no sense.
Sorry?
Yeah, exactly.
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Do you not understand that?
No, we understand that. That's one of the dumbest things I've heard in a long time.
Yes, they can.
You don't have the intellectual
yes, they
capacity
can.
to understand that.
Oh, yes, they
that's
can.
Very much
and you've been
Piers is like, bullshit.
racist to me.
Just like Bandit. Bullshit.
That's very much impossible.
You've been racist to me, a white man, by saying I'm a race baiter. Yeah.
How am I racist to you? I'm black. I can't be racist to you.
You called me a racist.
Hang on. I'm going to back that up a second. Just look. Listen to that statement, guys. Listen to that crazy statement.
Yeah.
How am I racist to you? I'm black. I can't be racist to you.
You called me a
I'm black. I can't be racist to you.
Race baiter with no
You're
evidence.
Racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
You can be racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
But I'm a powerhouse.
Tell me when I've been a
I'm a powerhouse.
race
I'm a
baiter.
powerhouse.
Well, you may be a powerhouse.
I understand something.
You may be a powerhouse. You may be a powerhouse.
Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
Oh, you admit that.
When have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
Yep. Not answering. Please answer the question, sir.
This is absurd.
I agree. This is absurd.
Hang on, tell me.
Honey.
Blossom, give me one example of me race baiting. Blossom, go.
Blossom? Why is he going by Blossom?
I'm here at this point. I'm just here to talk about trans women in sports. I said what I said.
So you don't.
Hang on. Repeat that again, please.
I'm here at this point. I'm just here to talk about trans women in sports. I said what I said.
So you.
What kind of crazy ass timeline are we living in?
Don't have anything, do you?
Repeat anything.
You called me a race bait.
It can't answer. No, it can't. I agree. It has no answer. And bless Riley's heart. Riley just sitting there like, I don't even know what's happening. So bless her heart for not reacting. Absolutely crazy. But you know what? Even more fun. Even more fun. We have some O'Keefe Media Group. Awesome. OMG does some great work, guys. Dr. Gold, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We have a couple of DMs to catch up on. Don't worry, I saw that, Gardner. DM on Lawfare and also a DM at Disney Epcot. Now out, no one hurt. Dang. I mean, yay. But this OMG journalist, guys, interviewing. We're not going to play the whole, it's a 15-minute clip. But.
So if you had an African-American guy and that white guy who you did hire both together for that role, say they're equal on all merits.
I probably already African-American.
Yeah.
You just have to be very careful, right? If our guests cannot connect with our employees, and if they're all white, it just doesn't resonate the same way.
This whole attachment to representation, guys, is so dumb. So dumb.
So in that situation, you would be weeding out by race, essentially.
I would as well look at that, right?
Yeah.
We chose to investigate.
Yeah, guys, check this video out. Like I said, it's 15 minutes. We're not going to play all of it. But this guy's literally talking about hiring non-white people over white people for representation. Because for whatever reason, guests can't feel helped by somebody that doesn't look like them. Have you ever cared what the person behind the counter helping you, have you ever cared what gender or what color they are? Anyone? Does anyone care about that? Or does the outcome of the interaction matter more? Like, does it matter more that I have an issue with my room? Can you fix it? Right? Like, my air conditioner doesn't work. Can you get me a different room? But does anyone care what race or gender the person that fixes that problem is for you? The thing I care about, if they don't fix the problem, and none of that matters, race or gender, none of it. Could not care less. Could not care less, guys. It's like, hey, did you fix my problem or not? That's it. That's all I care about. So we have a DM here about Mike Johnson. House is working overtime to limit the abuse of activist federal judges. Thank you for pulling this one up, Gardner. Our judiciary GOP will expose the worst offenders in a high-profile hearing, and we are preparing urgent legislative action, like Representative Darrell Issa's bill to stop unfounded nationwide injunctions. So you can see here, injunctions total. There has been 127 federal injunctions since 1963. 1963. 12 under Obama, 14 under Biden. First Trump administration, 64. That's almost half. That is half. Half of all the injunctions since 1963 happened in his first term. And he's already at 15 in 1 month. 1 month, 15. That's crazy, guys. So combined, that's 79, almost 80 out of the 120. So 2/3 of all federal injunctions since 1963 have been against Trump. That's crazy. It's a little bit wild, guys. And then a follow-up. Bandit says, I care not. I assume that's in reference to the race or gender of the person helping you at a hotel. Yeah, I couldn't care less either. Dr. Gold says, it's so sad that Western game companies are putting woke shit in video games. I assume that you're talking about the Assassin's Creed. Is it Assassin's Creed? Which video game is it that came out with the Black Samurai? And then it turned out like a bunch of like LGBT, like a bunch of gay stuff. Is that the one you're talking about there, Dr. Gold? Because I saw a little bit about that. I don't play games anymore, though. I haven't played video games in like 2 years. So I'm not really hip with the culture on that one anymore. I used to have a Twitch channel. Used to have a monetized Twitch channel. I used to play games all the time and just haven't been able to do it anymore. We had apparently a structure fire at Epcot. ERCOT is, Energy Reliability Council of Texas. ERCOT. That's the power company. It's easy to get confused. Structure fire broke out at Disney's Epcot. Emergency crews are working to contain. At this time, firefighters were responding to a reported structure fire at the Walt Disney World's Epcot Park, where black smoke can be seen rising through the park. Cause and exact location of the fire remain unclear. It is unknown if there are any injuries or damage. Guests have reported seeing emergency crews in the area as firefighters work to contain the situation. The France Pavilion has been evacuated. This is a developing story. Come on, guys. Update. Authorities have said the incident happened when a walk-in cooler caught fire backstage at the French Pavilion. That's unfortunate. Yeah, guys, this whole Unapologetic Patriot, like, come on, guys. Like, that's... Can we not do stuff like that? Like, stuff like that makes me want to unfollow people. Can we just not? Like, it's irrelevant to the topic. Nobody cares. Said, yes, and the Japanese people are not happy about it. Even the Japan government is talking about it. As they should, guys. As they should. It's like it's their history. For talking about representation, it's interesting how, for some strange reason, as a minority, that the Asians, especially Japanese or Pacific Islanders, in general are actually disadvantaged by the system, not helped. They are minorities. Shouldn't they get the same help that African Americans and other protected classes get, other minority classes? Shouldn't they also get help? Except there's always a lot of violence between those two communities. There's a lot of, like, it just doesn't, it never made sense to me why it is, other than Asians are successful. And it's because of hard work. It's because of culture. It's because of discipline. The family structure is very different. Like, why do we not have to enforce representation for one minority group, but we do for another? Like, why would we erase one in favor of the other? I don't know. Maybe they're just mad that the Asians aren't dependent on government. I think that's actually it. Because they need people dependent on government so they can do stupid shit like this. Yeah, I am yes, you are no posts the absolute state of the UK, guys. An Iranian man who raped his lodger in London can't be deported in case he is persecuted in his homeland for being convicted of rape. Guys, the UK is not a serious country anymore. The UK is lost. I don't know what else to say. The UK is just lost. Oh, Assassin's Creed DM sent for Dr. Gold. Follow up. Okay. Researcher coming through. Let's see. Nope, that was a different DM between me and you. I always lose track of which DM. Maybe I've got to refresh the page. Give me a second. Nope. Wrong button. Refresh. Trying to get this DM pulled up, folks. Give me a second. There we go. There we go. All right. Follow up DM. All right. So in response, or along with your discussion here, Dr. Gold, Questionable Gardener found this post. When I say their entire romance line is mostly poorly written, inorganic, high school, shitty Twilight fanfic, I really did mean it. Assassin's Creed is now written by loser women and feminine men who have never interacted with other humans, let alone have any grasp of feudal Japan. The English voice acting really just takes a dump on your chest, too. Oh, my God. Savvy. That's an interesting write-up.
Watch where you point that thing.
What's wrong, Igahime? Does my teppo make you nervous?
Watch
Hang on. Let's full screen this. I can't read it. Doesn't make any sense.
You point that thing.
What's wrong, Igahime? Does my teppo make you nervous?
Teppo, I guess, is the rifle. But there's a romance option called I like your teppo. Oh my God.
I like dangerous weapons.
What about dangerous women?
Oh.
Even better.
Oh.
We'll see.
So cringe is right. Questionable Gardener. So cringe. Let's see this one.
That begins with a kiss.
Is that supposed to be a boy and a girl, or is that two girls? I can't even tell. Calm down. Jeez. Get a room. Can I show this on YouTube, Gardner? That's definitely written by a woman. Just saying. She's into many things like guns and gunpowder. Yeah. Two girls. Oh. Yeah. Said, after hearing the voice acting in all of these scenes today, I feel my chances of being hired by Ubisoft to be a VA are very high. That's Just wow. I've got nothing else to say about it, but just wow. Oh, but yeah, guys, we care more about this guy, this attacker. You know, oh, they might get sent home and they might be convicted. We got to keep them. Yeah, the UK is not a serious country. Of course, I question whether we are anymore, based on the voice acting thing. I really do. I'm not even going to play this video. Thank you for sending me the link, though, but I'm not going to play the video. The new Assassin's Creed game is so woke that there are multiple gay romances, including one with a non-binary male Japanese man. Is it a man at that point? I don't know. The concept didn't even exist in the 16th century. Yeah, it didn't. No, that's pretty much a new thing. Like, God, it's all so cringe. Yep, I'm almost not sad that I don't play video games anymore. So, good riddance. Give me Mario Brothers. Yeah. Like the original Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers? Because the original Mario Brothers was just weird. It's kind of like Gyromite, if you ever played that for NES. Speaker Mike Johnson finally, at least, seems to be growing a gelatinous spine that's a little soft, but hey, it's a start. In his desperation, Chuck Schumer has now crossed a serious red line. Is that going to be the same red line like Obama in Syria? Because if it is, it doesn't mean anything. By telling PBS he is organizing and encouraging radical activists to go after Republican members of Congress and force them to either change their vote or face consequences. His recruits are now crashing and disrupting private gatherings and even local school events, screaming profanities and physically assaulting people. The madness must stop before somebody gets hurt. Yeah, guys, have you noticed that this stuff always happens in areas that are not constitutional carry? It's like the person that pulled over and tried to attack somebody driving a Tesla. Guys, don't do it. Don't do it in a state like mine. If you do that kind of crap in a state like West Virginia, it's not going to end well for you. Don't get so comfortable that you're willing to do that stuff in a state like Washington, and then you come to a place like here and you think you're going to get away with it. It is not going to end well. Please don't do it. Please don't. But yeah, guys, stop assaulting people. Stop committing battery. Stop committing acts of domestic terrorism. Please stop. George Alexopoulos, G Prime 85, that bottom comment, very well said. Sounds like you should hop off X and do some work then. Yep. Yeah, guys, it doesn't mean anything. You're sorry, Gardner. Mario DM. Okay, what do we got? Sent a photo. Really, Gardner? This is what you sent me. Are they nuzzling? Like, what is the matter with people? Why would you send this to me? Like, why? So Dr. Gold says, and now I only really play Japanese games. Hey, look, for a long time, I liked playing Japanese games that didn't come over. Really? There was a bunch of games, like there were so many good games, turn-based games like Front Mission. Like, you think XCOM's a good game? Try playing Front Mission. The Front Mission series is great. So many of the good TV shows from Japan are great. Think My Faster Fingers and Grok. Grok, I'm disappointed. Ben is laughing. Gardner's laughing. Dr. Gold's laughing. Everyone's laughing. Why? Why would you do this? Brotherly love, Bandit. Yes, that's... Oh, it's unfortunate, but that's fine. I hope this happens. Tim Young calls it out in response to AOC's post. Something special is happening. Over 34,000 people joined our Fight the Oligarchy rally tonight with Senator Bernie Sanders and I. So Tim Young's response, and I agree, because if you looked at the poll that came out this week of all of the people in the Democrat Party, who is the most popular right now when it comes to polling, the AOC was the top of that list at 10% of support. So I'm not surprised at all that we're already seeing AOC being put front and center. And I pray to the gods, to God and all that is holy, our Creator, and anything else you care to pray to. I pray that AOC and Bernie Sanders are the ticket in 2028. Please, 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 please let that be the case. I can't wait, just like Tim here, I can't wait to watch this impending car wreck. Might be bigger than a car wreck. I'm guessing train wreck, but sure, they weren't here for the free weed. It is Denver, after all. AOC for president. Can we vote with emojis and tears? She's not running for office. She's auditioning for The Bachelor Woke Edition. Yeah, guys, who else wants to see AOC and Bernie Sanders run in 2028? What do you guys think? I think it would be a great ticket to run against, especially with JD. Who do you think would make a good VP for JD? Who do you guys think would be a good VP for JD? Because I think JD is going to be running in 28. Do you want to see Trump Jr.? Maybe. I don't think Barron's going to be old enough yet. But I assume we're going to see Barron come around in politics again after he watched what lawfare did to his dad. Dr. Gold says that would be an easy win. Bandit says, so do I. That would be awesome. Yes, but who do you think would be a good candidate to run with JD? I think a JD ticket's going to happen, but I'm curious to see who his VP running mate would be. Maybe Byron, is it Byron Donaldson? Byron out of Florida. I think it's Florida, right? Byron? I think he'd be a good running mate, maybe. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. We still have a couple of years yet. We still got a lot of winning to do under Trump, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Yeah, guys, I had to include this one. It's unfortunate. I posted a picture of my Foreman grill because, as Gardner and West Virginia pointed out, I don't do sports. So his biggest contribution to my life was my favorite small appliance, which is the George Foreman grill. It's great. I love it. Love using it. But yeah, guys, it was unfortunate to see this. This came about yesterday, last night. George Foreman passed away at 76. It's a legend. Yeah. It's unfortunate, guys. May he rest in peace. Prayers for the family, for sure. And then, as a way to finish us off, I had to include this because the movie finally came out. And I love Nerderotic's takes on things. And I love the Critical Drinkers' takes on things. So we have both on a panel here with Piers Morgan. Both. You fixed Mario for me. I don't know how I feel about that, but let's... I don't see it. You're going to make me refresh my page. A real legend, Bandit. I agree. All right, let's see. Got another photo. Oh, geez. What is he grabbing? What is he grabbing? Gardner. There is some battery going on right here. What is happening? He got Mario copping himself a feel on that one. That's just wrong. Oh.
We can start out with the creative bankruptcy of remaking another.
Blame Grok. I don't know, man. You were the one running it.
Other animated classic instead of making something new. But yes, it's all Rachel Zegler and her behavior. And if it was just one comment, it probably would have been forgotten by now.
And it reminds me a lot. So Rachel Zegler and the comments that she made about fans and about the production of Snow White reminds me a lot about what's her insufferable name? The Marvels. Oh God, my brain. Sometimes, guys, my brain just slips. Who is that insufferable actress that was playing Ms. Marvel? Yeah. Wow. Okay, Gardner has some stats for us real quick. Snow White opened at $40 million on par with Dumbo, but Dumbo cost $170 million to make. Snow White cost $250 million to make. Really? Rachel, I believe it was Rachel Zegler, was paid $2 million, the same as Tom Cruise was paid for Top Gun. Brie Larson. Thank you, Gardner. Thank you very much. Yes. Rachel Zegler's behavior and treatment of the fans and the way that she spoke before this movie ever even came out reminded me a lot about Brie Larson.
But it was comment after comment, and it was pissing off everybody, pissing off old Disney fans, pissing off new Disney fans, pissing off Trump supporters, pissing off all of America. And it became such a disaster that they had to shut her up, which was the smartest move they made. But the onus is all on her and Disney's reaction to it. And quite frankly, if she has said nothing, her movie, probably still forgettable, would have done a lot better.
Critical drinker. I mean, it's even down to the fact that Rachel Zegler and is it Zegler?
I love the fact that he is just called Critical Drinker. Like, do you guys watch their channels, by the way? Nerdrotic and Critical Drinkers channels. If you don't follow them already, you absolutely should. If you should subscribe to them on YouTube. If I want to go see a movie, guys, I watch Critical Drinkers' response or reaction to the movie first. I just do. And for TV and movies, also, Nerdrotic's takes on things, they're worth listening to. It's helped me save a lot of time not watching stuff that was awful.
Ziegler, by the way.
I think it's Zegler.
Zegler, I think is how you pronounce it.
It's Zegler, right? Yeah. Let's just clarify that. The battle between her and Gal Gadot, right? Is that?
Oh yeah, Gal Gadot, by the way, as a pick. A, she's not very good at acting, but B, guys, she's way hotter than Rachel Zegler. The entire point of the story of Snow White is that the character that Gal Gadot was playing was supposed to be jealous of the beauty of Snow White, whose skin was white as snow and unblemished. Instead, now with this woke crap, it's just her name's Snow White because it was snowing outside. Sure. But Gal Gadot is supposed to be jealous of the shitty haircut and Rachel Zegler in the movie, who is by far not as attractive. You don't need to consult the mirror on the wall to see that Gal Gadot is more attractive. However, I think Zegler is a better actress when it comes to at least the acting.
They take diametrically different views, even on things like the Israel-Hamas war. Zegler publicly supporting Palestine. Gal Gadot served in the IDF and wrote, "I stand with Israel, you should too, the world can't stand on the fence," so on. So here are the two stars of the movie, even diametrically opposed in a very polarizing manner over a big war that's raging.
Sure, it feels like every aspect of this movie just seems to breed controversy, and yet that's just another aspect of it. By all accounts, they do not get on particularly well. I think you could tell that from their body language when they were presenting an Oscar together. They just could not have disliked each other more. So yeah, it's just another nail in the coffin of this movie, unfortunately.
Yeah, guys, like I said, if you haven't followed both of those creators, you absolutely should. I think it's a good place to end the stream this week, guys, based on just the shitty performance of Snow White. I'm glad to see it failing. It seemed like an awful idea in the beginning. I really think that Disney needs to reevaluate its position on a lot of the things they're doing. They just seem to like losing money. And I don't understand why, as a company, they just like losing money. They have no creativity anymore. They are not creating hardly anything new. They're remaking or reimagining existing stories. They're destroying the fairy tales that we liked as children. They're just destructive. They're of the left. The left is not capable of creating something new. They are only good at destroying what exists. So I'm glad to see it failing. I hope it continues to fail, and I hope eventually it fails hard enough that they stop doing this. I look forward to the time when I actually want to go to the movies again, but I don't right now. What was the last movie that you guys went to the theater to see? What do you think? The last thing I went to go to the theater to see was Top Gun Maverick, because it actually had a message that was like, America. Yeah, like it was great. Loved it. It was a good throwback to a classic that I remember from growing up. It paid homage to the original source material. So what was the last movie you saw? Top Gun Maverick? Yep. Good job, Gardner. I agree. That was also the last thing I saw in theaters. Dr. Gold with the $2 super chat. Thank you. A lot of fun. Appreciate it. West Virginia's Horizon. I'll have to look that one up. Don't know if I've been so out of touch when it comes to movies and culture, guys, that I just don't even know what that is. Let's see. Horizon. An American Saga. This is a Western. Okay, Kevin Costner. Okay. American Saga is a film series of 4 planned American epic westerns. It's 4 movies? Interesting. Twister 2 from Gardner. It sucked. Isn't that what tornadoes do? They either suck or they blow real hard, depending on, I guess, which side of the tornado you're on. Reagan. Bandit, same here. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick, guys. It was a good one. It brought me back to the theater. I hadn't been to the theater since COVID. Yeah, absolutely. Good to hear. Good to hear. Check my DMs. Uh-oh. Virginia sliding into my DMs. Dr. Gold says, I just watch older comedy movies and the older Star Wars movies. Yeah, guys, it's crazy that I thought that the prequel trilogy of Star Wars was awful. I like the original 3 are okay. Like, I like them. The prequel trilogy I thought sucked. But then the ending 3 got put out, ending with Rise of Skywalker. They were so bad. They made me wish for the days of Jar Jar Binks. I was praying for Jar Jar Binks by the time we got to Rise of Skywalker. I thought Rey was a unrelatable, boring, stupid character. Ugh. Yeah, I also just watch old movies and just ass-kicking movies. Like, what's one of the movies that you know what? Let me see. Can I find it real quick? Because I've got them on my Plex server. Plex. Because I just like watching, there's a couple of really good movies that I've seen. One of them, oh man, I've seen so many good movies. Oh, guys, Book of Eli, by the way. Check that one out. That's a really good movie. Really enjoyed that one. I'm looking for a specific movie. The Equalizer movies, also very good. Like, if you're wondering, I'm just scrolling through my Plex real quick. I don't know if I should show that on. You know what? Fuck it. I'll show it on screen. Who cares? Why not? Yeah, guys, like It Man, good series. Jack Reacher's always fun. John Carter, great movie. Really sad that it did as poorly as it did. Very good movie, though. Kung Fu Hustle, guys, top. So good. Yeah, Book of Eli, guys, the twist at the end. I'm not going to say it, but the twist at the end was so good. So good. Martian was decent, except I really did not like the overall America sucks. China had to save us. I didn't like it. Oblivion was good. I'm looking for, there's one movie, Shooter, guys. If you haven't seen Shooter, go watch Shooter. It's a great movie. Great movie, Mark Wahlberg. The Taken just shows that he's an awful parent. Just awful. V for Vendetta, guys. Oh, definitely watch that one. Like, there's so many good movies. Even the remake, the Tomb Raider, I thought was good. I was kind of sad they didn't turn that into a full-on series of movies. Starship Troopers, guys, I watched that the other day. So good. Like I love my Plex servers. A lot of fun. I love most of them on here. Some of these are holdovers from when I was still married, so some of them I never really watch myself. But Mr. and Mrs. Smith is good. I'm trying to find. There was one that's sticking out in my head right now, and I cannot, for the life of me, find it. And as soon as I end the stream, I'm going to find it. I know I am, and I cannot. It's bothering me. I don't like Free Guy's funny. If you haven't seen Free Guy, definitely. They're doing a remake of Starship Troopers. Oh, they better not ruin that. Questionable Gardener. That upsets me, actually. The Foreigner is a good one. Jackie Chan, very good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of a smaller movie. Not a lot of people have seen it. You watch older comedies with your dad, like Down Periscope, or like old comedies, because Down Periscope is up there. Very fun. Death Wish is good. That's another good just ass kicking, not kissing, ass kicking movie. If you want to get really creeped out about social media, The Circle's a good one. Yeah. Don't know why I can't find it. Don't know why. Well, that's enough poking around on my Plex server. I really do enjoy Plex server. I don't have like YouTube or I have YouTube. I don't have like Netflix or any of those. So I just have all my own movies that I put on my own server at home. It's great. Highly recommend it. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you sticking around. Talking a little bit about pop culture stuff and movies is fun. Blazing Saddles remake. Next, you're going to tell me they're going to remake all of his movies. That it just doesn't work in today's day and age. Like, you can't make Blazing Saddles again. You can't. You just can't. It's not possible. It's not going to be good. Next, you're going to tell me they're going to remake Spaceballs and ruin something else that I loved from my childhood. Spaceballs is one of my favorite. Oh, wait. Hold on. I have a West Virginia DM. He couldn't wait for them to leave. Oh, West Virginia. Coming through clutch. Big fan. Hunter Biden as soon as the Secret Service left. Oh, man. Yep. That is... I'm just going to let that one sit up there for a minute. That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Okay, that's funny. Now I'm less mad about it. The Blazing Saddles. You're having way too much fun with Grok, Gardner. What does everyone else think about that? I think that's probably one of my favorite memes in a while. Oh, man, that was a good... You know what? That's actually a good way to end the show right there. I'll just leave that up here for a minute. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who stopped by. Thank you, everybody who participated. It's always good to see you, Gardner, West Virginia. Got Bandit, Dr. Gold. You got Shell, everyone else that stopped by. I appreciate you. The Brokeback Saddles. Oh, no. Gardner. But again, guys, make sure you're following Gardner. Make sure you're following West Virginia. Make sure you're following Bandit. All the people there in the chat, make sure you're following each other over on X. Show up. I'm here every Saturday, 8:30 p.m. We go hour and a half, 2.5, apparently like over 2 hours now. Just weekly news updates. Anything else that you all want to talk about? Again, just like here at the end, we completely diverted from the news and went into pop culture. So I'm totally okay with it. Not as well versed in it, but you know what? Here I am. Dr. Gold, Blazing Saddles is a great movie, but it could not be released now. No, most of Mel Brooks's movies could not be released now. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with it. They were very good in their time. You're not going to see like, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, like none of them. None of them are coming out now. The Druish princesses from, Spaceballs. Yeah. None of them. But yeah, guys, also Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., I co-host with the Questionable Gardener. We have the Topic Exchange. We have a good space there. Always fun. So swing by the space Tuesday, 9 p.m. Swing by here for the weekly update. Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. I will unfortunately be traveling next week. I will be out of town. I will only have my phone. Guys, I don't know if you want me to even try. I can't pull up anything. I only will have my phone. I don't know if it's worth. If you guys want to see me do some like man on the street stuff, if you want to see me do some walk around stuff in Las Vegas, if you want to see me do any of this kind of stuff, just let me know. Shoot me a DM over on X, leave me a comment on YouTube. Just let me know. Let me know if you think you want to see me do any kind of live stream stuff while I'm traveling. I can certainly do that, but I will not be here for my normal weekly update. I should be here Tuesday night. I don't know if I'll be able to stay super late because I fly out first thing Wednesday morning. Man on the street would be awesome, but what would you want me to talk to people about that isn't going to get my ass kicked? Because I don't really want to get my ass kicked on stream, guys. Like, that's not my goal. You guys let me know. Hit me up on X, send me a DM, send me a message on, one of my comment on one of my posts, comment on one of my videos on YouTube. Just let me know what you guys want to see. I can certainly do live stream stuff. I'll be tied up for probably 12 hours a day doing business things. But for the remainder of the time, when I'm not sleeping, I can and will do something if you guys want me to. So just let me know. But I appreciate everyone who stopped by. Thank you again, Dr. Gold, for the $2 super chat. Your contributions are always greatly appreciated. Yeah, guys. Questionable Gardener killed it again with the research, doing great work. Ask why they support soda and do they know how it's mined? Talking about the phosphorus mines, I should just bring up those pictures and be like, this is what you're drinking. Ask them who their favorite West Virginian is. I mean, obviously it's, I don't know. I don't know. Do you think it is your favorite West Virginian? Seems like a loaded question since your username is literally the favorite West Virginian. See if they know that it's a state. I'm going to be in Las Vegas. There's a really good chance that they may not know it's actually a state. They probably just think it's the western part of Virginia, like the song. Just saying. But yeah, guys, it's been a lot of fun. It's going on 11 o'clock. I got a lot of stuff that I got to do tomorrow to get ready for the week since I will be out of town. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the future. It may be 2 weeks from now. We'll see. God bless everyone. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a wonderful night. That is not the button I was trying to push. What is happening? There we go. Bye.